Hello, everybody, and welcome to Problem Solve Her. I'm your co-host, Chloe, along with
your beautiful Dagmar.
My beautiful friend, Dagmar, and we are your hosts. Hello, ladies. Welcome, and men. Welcome to an innovative and interesting perspective for women of all ages and backgrounds, and men too. And we love that you're joining us today. I'm in a different part of the world from Dagmar. She's somewhere in the United States, and I'm in a country called Cyprus, which is the furthest country in Europe from the UK, from London, where I started. And I'm meeting women of all different ages and backgrounds, and I'm getting all of their insights and their wisdom, which I love. So I think that it's best that because the internet is not incredible here, but we can let our viewers and listeners know that no matter where you are in the world, sometimes the internet's not great. So I'm going to let Dagmar take over, and I'm going to let her start us, and we're going to begin our wonderful session.
Yeah, great. Where there's a will, there's a way, right?
Absolutely. And as you would say, solutions don't come right away, but they will come.
No, exactly. So today the topic is, and I think a lot experiences when you are second guessing yourself if you should do something. That could be in your job, in your business, in your relationship. Life changes when you go through the different phases in your life, and you're not sure in what direction to go. So let's start with when you're second guessing yourself in your job. Should you stay? Should you go? Should you ask for a raise? Am I good enough? What are your thoughts about that?
Great question. And I think it's a really important topic that comes up constantly with people, whether or not they should stay, they should go, ask for the raise, they're scared. Will I get in trouble from my boss? Will he maybe fire me because he thinks I'm asking too much? But let's start with second guessing. If you believe in yourself, truly and wholeheartedly believe in who you are, if you start to second guess yourself, the other side will say, of your brain, right? And your mind will say, no. I have a mantra when I start to second guess, whether it's work or personal or family. When you're traveling, sometimes it can be stressful. As you know, I just had a very stressful experience even getting here. You have to tell yourself, I believe in myself. I believe in myself. And I think if you allow yourself to play that in the back of your mind and press the play button on the tape, you won't allow yourself to second guess as much. Because when we start to second guess, then we become a little more insecure and vulnerable, which is okay because we need those things, right, to build up our character and our strength and our inner strength. But the second guessing, it doesn't help us in the long run. So let's try to do things that are the opposite of that, so that it doesn't happen. So when it comes down to, like you said, if you should leave the job, you say, okay, well, hold on a second. I'm very good at what I do. This is how much money I'm making. I know I deserve to make more money. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to ask for a raise. And I have to be prepared that if they say no, or they're not willing to give me what I'm worth, then I'm willing to walk away. Simple, period.
Okay. So when I'm hearing that, should I prepare going in there? Like, should I first evaluate what I accomplished in the company outside my regular job before I ask for a raise? Like, should I ask, if I know I want to ask for a raise in half a year, should I work on that today and write down what I'm doing, write down every month what I'm doing, and also ask what are the expectations to get a raise so I can fulfill the expectations? Like, I'm more data driven and more strategic.
You data driven? No, never. You come on.
No, I'm just thinking for the people, because your advice is gold, right? You have to
you're
ask
right.
for
what you're saying
worth.
is important.
So
right,
for the ones
I
who
like
are more
your
logical.
strategy. Yes, I agree with you. You're asking me that, and I'm saying yes, because you have to be prepared in life. So if you go in and you're very thorough and you're very strong, right? You can't come in weak. You have to come in strong and say, this is what I believe I deserve. Here's the data that backs this up. For example, over the last 4 to 6 months, the company has elevated to XYZ. I brought in X amount of dollars. I brought in X amount of clients. I've driven X amount of money into the company, whether it's, like you say, data driven, whether it's marketing, SEO, SEM, actual dollar amounts. You have to come in prepared and ready. And most of the time, I would think, and unfortunately, it doesn't always happen, that if you have a logical and reasonable boss that respects you and the work that you're producing, and they might say, hold on, I need 48 hours, right? Let me review your material. And then they might get back and say, you know what, you're right. You have driven X amount of dollars into this company in this amount of time. And we believe that giving you this raise is the equivalent to what you've done in the last 6 months. So we feel strongly about doing that. Now, if they come back and say, listen, we went over your numbers. Yes, they're impressive, but we're just not in a position to give you a raise right now. We can't, we won't, whatever their answer is, you have to then make a decision. Don't second guess. To either say, okay, can I circle back in 4 months? And can you give me the raise then? Or you might have to say, okay, well, I have to walk away from this position now because I deserve more and I can't continue to produce if I'm not being compensated for that. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. So what about business? If you have your own business and you second guessing yourself what you charge, you second guessing yourself about when you attract high-end clients, right? That you don't feel intimidated to work with them. What's your thought with that? How should somebody approach it if they know their value and if they know what they can accomplish? How should they go about second guessing themselves still?
Well, I can speak from experience with that question because I have worked with I don't like to tell my age, you know that, but over the last 20 years, I have been fortunate enough to work with a lot of extremely, I want to say the right word here and be, as we say, politically correct. A lot of people in different industries that are very high up in their field, whether it's people, high net worth individuals, athletes, politicians, people on Wall Street, things of that nature. So I've been around a lot of those types of clients where in the very beginning, you do second guess yourself because you feel like this person is so superior to you. It's just like if you were to meet somebody who's your favorite celebrity, like, I love Brad Pitt. Everybody knows that Brad Pitt's if I was to meet him right now, I wouldn't be able to speak, okay? The words wouldn't come out of my mouth. But if I went to a huge event with 700 people and I needed to lock in a few donors and raise hundreds of thousands of dollars in 48 hours, I can walk up to anybody. So it really comes down to once you realize that we're all the same, nobody's better than anybody else, right? From the guy in the mailroom all the way up to the guy at the top, we're all human beings. So once you feel comfortable, because it doesn't happen right away, you have to tell yourself, these are human beings just like me. We all have 2 hands, 2 feet, 2 eyes. We all have a nose. We all have a mouth, right? They don't have extra parts of their body. They can't fly in the air, right? We're all humans. So don't ever second guess yourself if you have very high-end clients. They're worthy of you and you're worthy of them. It works both ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's great advice. Don't be intimidated. Because
Never.
I think second guessing yourself and being intimidated is a very poison feeling to really stand up for what you believe in and your values and everything. Last question, and I think that's what hits home the most. second guessing yourself if you're in a relationship, if you should stay or go when you're in a relationship, and second guessing yourself if you should speak up for yourself or fit in or please. And the same, I think it's for friendships, second guessing yourself if this is a good friendship for you, or if you feel not seen and not heard in a friendship. How would you approach that, second guessing yourself in a partnership or in a friendship?
Well, first on the partnership side, I will say that, and I think a lot of people will say this, I give great advice for everybody else, but when it comes to my relationship, it's a little bit harder, right? So for relationships, I think that it's different in business. If you're second guessing yourself in a relationship, it doesn't mean that you're intimidated or insecure. It could mean that this might not be the right partner for you. And not that you're second guessing yourself, you're second guessing whether or not you made the right decision to begin with. I think that people really need to listen to that. If there's any advice I would give about dating, it's about the decision you make when you decide to take on a partner. So if you're dating somebody and you see something in the very beginning and you second guess yourself, am I not good enough? Am I not this? Am I that? Not that? No, the person is obviously giving off an energy or a vibe that's making you feel like it's not part of who you are. You have to be comfortable around your partner at all times. So that's my my answer and my advice to second guessing relationships. Make sure you're getting into them in the first place for the right reasons. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. What's the second guessing when you're in the friendship and the beginning, you have the same interests and you love spending time together, but then little by little you feel like used, like they ask you for help all the time, or they don't respect your space. Like wherever you go, they want to meet there. If you go and meet with friends or family, or if they're coming late all the time, and you're second guessing, like, is it me? Do I take this too not too serious, but like, am I like self-pity? Like, should I go more with the flow? Should I take this easier?
I think that friendships evolve over time. I have some friendships that are over 30 years, but if someone's taking advantage, or like you said, they're constantly late, like my brother, Dylan, if you're listening, I love you, but he's my family member. So he's always late. I could sit at a restaurant for an entire hour, have 2 glasses of wine and eat my meal. And then he comes in, what happened? I'm like, I'm done. I'm getting the bill. You can sit down now. But you have to be very, I mean, you want to do it in the right way, because you don't, obviously, you never want to intentionally hurt somebody. But if someone's taking advantage, time for me is a big deal. If you're always late, or you always say to me, I'm on the way, or the last minute, I can't make it. Can we change it till tomorrow? Everyone's time is valuable. So sometimes in some situations where you feel that someone's taking advantage of you in a friendship, I had a friend for 25 years that I was very close with, that I did a lot for. I mean, a lot. I was always there for her. I gave great advice. She lives in California. I would take her phone calls in the middle of the night. And one day I just said, you know what? I mean, I just feel like it has to be two-sided, right? A friendship has to work both ways. When it's pulling one way, it's weighing it down. It's like when you're on the seesaw with the kids and it goes like this when they're at the park. You know that word, seesaw? Yeah. So, no. You're like, okay, most people watching and listening know, you're like, no, yeah. A seesaw, you're at the park. It goes up and down, right? You want it to be here. It's supposed to be even. If one kid is pushing it down all the way, it's like, whoa, 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 what kind of friend are you? Get back up. I don't want to fall. Let's be right here together. So I think that that's very important. The friendships have to work both ways. Same thing. If you're second guessing a friendship after a short amount of time or a long period of time, you have to take a step back and say, what's the positives in this friendship and what's the negatives? And if the negative outweighs and it's too stressful, unfortunately, sometimes people aren't friends anymore, but you can circle back maybe a year later and run into them and say, hey, let's try this friendship again. There's no law that says you can't do that.
Yeah.
Well, there should be for some friends. There should be for some. Right. There should be some laws for ones we never want to speak to ever again.
Right. I think my takeaway from today's podcast is really stay in your truth. Right. When you second guess yourself, analyze yourself. Why do you second guess yourself? Is it you? Is it something you feel because of childhood trauma? What triggers you? Or is it something from the other side? What's about your beliefs, your values, your ethics? And then the second thing is allow yourself to try and fail. Don't expect that everything has to be perfect. And if you take the pressure off, I think then it gives you more clarity to make the decisions you recommended, because what you recommend is life experience is priceless. And to really make the best out of it.
That's so true.
I think it's good when we have the clarity, who we are.
Also, I think that you have to give yourself grace. It's very important to give grace. Don't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So that was a great episode. Thank you so much, Chloe. And for the ones who want to reach Chloe and to think about changing and stopping second guessing and really standing your ground and believing in you and in your values, you can reach out to Chloe through our website, ProblemSolvHer, without the E after solve, ProblemSolvHer.com. And I also will post the link in the podcast and YouTube description. Or you can reach out to her on Instagram with our handle ProblemSolvHer. So thank you so much for listening in and following us. And don't forget to subscribe. Bye. Just a quick note before we end. This conversation is for inspiration and empowerment only. It's not medical, mental health, or legal advice. We are not doctors, therapists, or lawyers. Just women sharing real stories and personal truth. Always seek professional guidance for your unique situation.